Looking forward to this. We've got 14 to 17 to go, and it starts now. 3, 2, 1, pills. Good boards for both players here. Packy's already setting up for a horizontal and to another horizontal, so he's already just making some big plays here. Influx, not a lot of blue access, Ook.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem for him. Although getting these setups that he's got right now, he would have loved a red blue, not a not a yellow blue coming out there. But one of the things you're going to see from Influx, and keep an eye on it right now because this is what he's doing. He's going to set up combos, and you can see there's one of his very classic combos. And honestly, one of the, if not the flaws, then certainly one of the concern points for him sometimes is that he gets really stuck on his combos. Hasn't been an issue for in the last couple of months. We'll see if it comes back to bite him today. But speaking of things that are biting people, look at Packy's board and the lack of blue access over there. It's very red, very yellow. We're going to see how he's going to manage to attack that.
And it looks like he's going to get a drill down here to take care of some blue garbage and open up a little bit of access. And yeah, it looks like Influx is making some setups here, but he's just having a really tough time trying to get things to execute here. He's been stuck in the 40s for quite some time. And then you can't play that combo centric setup game when you have somebody like Packy who's just absolutely just down pressing, clearing things. He's going to get single clears, but he's also going to set up for combos that have low drop times, as we see there. Little standard 3-row drop there. But Influx really has to get some yellow and red help, especially on that left side. Horizontal over there could have been really good. Could have opened up the board for him. Could have cleared a lot of reds. But now he's trying to figure things out here, Ook. And again, with that limited access to blue, he's not getting a lot of blue. But with that yellow-red just a conclave around everything, it's just been really tough for Influx to get anything going.
Yeah, that has definitely been an issue for him. Meanwhile, looking over at Packy's board, he had a bit of an issue trying to get a combo built, but once he got it built, it went off very well. And his end game, this is a hallmark of Packy play, is clean end games. He always makes sure he's got at least two, or at least one way of clearing every virus, often two. He's out of level 14 at 226 as we go through this 14 through 17 set here in the finals, best of five.
And it's important to note here, Packy in this year, this is his first finals. He hasn't established an average time. Influx is at about a 9:39 average here, as he's down to his 11. Historically, Packy though has been pretty good at this speed or at this level block. So great cluster combo there at the top of the board for Packy. Already really just tuning up this board down to 54 virus here. Influx down to his last 5 here, and really hoping for a good momentum shift here going into 15.
Yeah, Influx has got to be okay. I was going to say he's got to be hoping for like a yellow red or something to kind of finish this board out. He's not going to want his drop time, and again, he also has a very clean end game out at a 320, but going to be behind the 8 ball here. And I think he listens to our commentary, so he's probably keeping an ear on what's going on. At the very least, I'm sure he is keeping an eye on what Packy's doing. But Packy already 20 viruses ahead here early in this level block.
Yeah, and this is what we saw Packy do against Frank. Packy just played a very simple, aggressive game that in the style that we've seen him since 2020. I mean, I said it was shades back of 2020, and we're seeing it on display here. He's just getting these good combos and then bringing them into really good setups here. And he's just identifying these quick 4 virus combo clears that he can just get off the board, reduce that count. I mean, he's already under 20 here, and he's playing this just incredibly fast. And here comes a little bit of a red help for him, maybe looking for a little bit more of a red blitz, but still, I mean, Packy's playing just lights out right now.
Yeah, that match against Adelito is definitely one that I'm going to want to catch. As I was not in the building for it, but can't wait to go see it afterwards. I know that the match that he and I played earlier in the tournament, it was neither one of us was particularly happy with our play, but by the time it was over, I mean, there was just no question. Pack is back, and he is really zooming through out of 441. This is a good time for him, and he is really just hitting on all cylinders right now.
Yeah. And I'm taking a look here at Packy's average time here, all time for 14 to 17, and it's a 10:23 with a PB of 8:55. Just to really give you all some metric of what Packy is like here in the finals. But he is really just playing just a nice, quick, efficient game here. Influx is continuing to rock the board, though. He's got some good double opportunities here and gets a nice little horizontal double on row number two, getting rid of some blues. And nice drop down there. He's going to underclear the reds, get that yellow set up as well. So blue yellow would be huge for him. He's got good setups pretty much everywhere on the board here. Probably looking for a horizontal clear of those blues, and he does get it. Looking for now, he's probably just looking for a red here so he can get things set up and gets that nice setup. Good combo break there. He's got 7 viruses to go, but he's still one level behind here. Packy is just absolutely turning and burning here on 16.
Yeah, you definitely said it, and that was really smart play from Influx to get to where he is now. Going to get a really fortuitous red, and yeah, with a double red like that, you put the next red on there and go ahead and get your blues wherever you can. He's out at a 607, and I think he knows that he has got to really turn the Jets up in these next two levels, as he is still 20 to 30 viruses behind. You can't really keep up in this early game because they're just knocking out viruses left and right. It's one of the most fun parts of the early parts of these levels is just later the further you get into the game, the faster the viruses get knocked off the board early in each level.
I like the setup from Packy. He's going to be trying to convert that maybe into a horizontal clear, but the got double yellow kind of changed his plans. So now looking for a little bit more on that center area of the board here, using these blues to clear the wing columns, and now reducing column 1 to almost nothing here. Good T there, and a big combo from Packy, really just able to transition what looked like a little bit of a misplay into something huge. But he is down to 15 viruses here. He's going to get an underclear on that double red and just continuing to go to town here. He's likely going to be setting up for a horizontal on that red in row 1. And looking for some red help here. He's only got one access to yellow, and it is sandwich. So he's got to find a way to get through that. The double red blitz obviously would be the best thing here for him, but it doesn't quite look like it's happening. But he is starting to get a good set here. Gets that double red finally, and now has everything he needs. Just about free and clear here. Just needing to get this yellow and blue off the board, and he does exactly that. He's going to get this double blue and just a couple of reds to go, and he's into 17.
Yeah, but Influx has had a great 16 and is already within a dozen viruses of Packy. But Pack, as you said, on into level 17 at a 753. And I'm pretty sure Influx did not want to set that double blue down where he did. That's gonna be a bit of a slowdown. I know the feeling. It looked like his controller kind of slid over just a little bit. Um, it's just one of those things that happens with Dr. Mario. Can't really
Mm-hmm.
tell if it's something that is the controller or if it's just the game, because sometimes it is just the game. Gonna get a nice clear out here though. Oh,
Oh,
and
I thought he was going to
yeah,
drop it down.
same. And that affinity for or that hatred for for drop time just takes a couple extra pills for him.
But it is a about a 25 virus lead here for Packy here going into 17, and this is the maximum height you can get on the board. So every play is critical. Misplays at especially early on can really dictate how you play the rest of the board. Forces you to underclear and build around, and can really eat time off the clock here. So it's important to get those early viruses off the board as quickly as possible. We're seeing that on display here. Packy just lowering that board elevation. Has a blue top line, though, which is really awkward here at this late in the game. But he's going to be setting up for a horizontal to drop that red. I think he's really waiting on a red-blue, and he is going to get it here. So he's going to get the garbage cleared and the viruses out here. 23 to 39 here as we're at 9.5 minutes.
And you talked about the elevation in this level, and it's really something, especially when you consider that both of our players are playing on high speed. And the later into the game you get, the more difficult it becomes to kick over to the left, kick over to the right. And both these players have really good 0 to 20 times, so they are accustomed to doing this on high speed. But oh, great cross clear from Packy there. But it is something that you have to think about when you're this high on the board is it going to be a problem? And so far, both players got out of that danger zone very quickly.
Yeah, and Packy is going to be electing to start under clearing, work top down here, and that little tuck of that blue red higher up on the board. It was really just to catch garbage, and we're seeing that here as Packy is going to go for the horizontal here, and oh, he's going to get the L out of the game at a 10:36. So Packy a little bit below average as time goes, but he does take the win here. A big win against Influx here as it is 1-0.
Yes, indeed. And let me look back at that June of 2023 match, or was it July? I'll have to look. I believe it was July. Packy did go the full distance against Adelito then. So, yeah, going to be interesting. I didn't know how long it had been for him, but Influx never been one to shy away from a comeback either. We've seen him do a reverse sweep as well. And he won the last month at 3 games to 1. So not over by any means for either player.
Yeah, Packy is 4-0 in games so far today. Hasn't surrendered a loss. Influx with a little bit of an early start, going to get reset and re-readied, I think. Okay. Looks like we've got readies from both players, and looks like it's going to be team off for Influx and team chill, which brings a smile to Ook's face, I'm sure.
I'll do you one better. Packy is 8-0 in this tournament.
He's
He
eight.
has
Oh,
yet
so
to lose a crown.
wow. Okay. Well, here we go here in game number 2 here. Packy looking to keep his undefeated streak alive here in the September tournament. It's been sweep, sweep, sweep for him. And I mean, when you get to that Adelito level, that's impressive. But these players both off to pretty consistent starts here. A lot of blue on the top here for Influx. Packy has a lot of red on his top line, not a lot of access to yellow, and he's being forced to clear the yellow. So not optimal, but still has a good play here. He's going to go on that right side, get a couple more off the board, and get a tuck with the double blue. Still early, but it is a slight lead for Influx.
Yeah, and Influx probably really grateful that the blues that have come out have come. He's got himself into a little danger zone, gets himself out of it where he needed blue and then wasn't going to have a use for it, but did manage to get that entire just giant barge of blue out of the way and is still maintaining about a 6 to 7 now, down to 5. He's maintaining a lead. These viruses, they don't stand a chance with these two. So really trying to determine exactly where they are. It's a fool's game.
And
Oh,
Packy,
great combo.
huge combo there by Influx. It's a 4 virus game, but Packy's really starting to turn here, needing a lot of blue support, and really looking for that triple across the line there in row number 3, and he is going to get it. He's going to drop things down, have good setups horizontally and vertically for those remaining reds on the bottom of his board. But Influx down to 6 here, looking for mostly yellow, and he is going to just go ahead and force out that blue, and he's going to set up, excuse me, set up horizontally. Just needing a couple of yellows here, and okay, looks like he kind of now has split himself, but it's not too bad. He just needs a couple of yellows, and he'll be out. And he'll be out. Come on, Doc. There it is, out at a 2:05. So a much better of a start here for Influx through this second game.
Yeah, and look at what Packy is setting up. Assuming, okay, I think you had been looking for a yellow red. Now he's just going to use this double red. That's going to finish almost everything. I think that was a little miscalculation. He's out at a 226 to join Influx here in level 15, but Influx making very short work of this top line. Packy going to be able to do the same though with doubles right at the beginning of the level. The only thing he needs is to avoid a lot of red.
Yeah, and he's being smart with the red garbage. He did have a setup so he could get that red garbage off the board and get to the blue here. And you're talking about those combos. You've just got to be 100% sure on those combos, because if you're not, that's going to require more plays. That's going to take more time off the clock, and that's what we're seeing. That's kind of what happened to Packy there. But Packy's still getting good setups here. He's setting up for a cross clear, going to combo that into a yellow as well. He is still behind, but he's playing wildly efficient here. Influx with a little bit of lack of yellow on his side of the board. Now getting that one yellow, the rest of his yellow buried in the board. He's going to have to hope for some red here. Packy looked like he's playing a diverse board, but also kind of that lack of access to yellow for him as well.
Yeah, it's been a little difficult for Pack in this section of the board, what you might call the mid game. He's You saw that triple stack of red. He was kind of waiting around for a blue. He was waiting around for something to do with yellow. I mean, it's just that garbage never really resolved for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned into a bit of a slowdown there. He's now 15 viruses behind, as Influx has made a very clean end game here. And if he continues getting reds, is going to be out very shortly. There's one, and there's the second. Out of this level to 409. So giddy up into level 16.
I appreciate the reference.
You're welcome.
Packy here, Packy here is going to drop down a combo. It is going to block off a little bit of that left side. Packy again, really looking for red here to start really getting nailed down on this board here. Uh, Looking for another red as well. He's going to get that double off the board and then another double. But he is getting blocked a little bit by garbage on either side of the board right now. But he is still playing it pretty phenomenally here. 8 viruses to go. He's going to get this down. Look at this combo. Boom, boom. And then a double blue to boot, so he can go for the double, that long horizontal across the bottom row. Really, really well played here by Packy, but it is Influx just continuing to tear this board apart. And he makes a misdrop over in column number 1. That is huge. That could be critical for him. And that's going to allow Influx to continue to pull away.
Yeah, we're seeing just a bit of a breakdown in Packy's end game there. He's going to get this under clear out of 514, but that is going to put him at 27 viruses behind where Influx was. So that's the sort of lead that Pack had at this point in the last game. So we know how difficult that is going to be to overcome. And yeah, he is. I mean, Influx just really smashing this level 7 or level 16 rather.
Yeah, I think Influx has kind of modified his combo game, and he really likes those elaborate combos, but he's kind of watering them down a little bit, not going for anything too terribly elaborate, but still getting good efficient combos off the board now. And now he's really stuck in a garbage situation here. Doesn't have much to play here. He's going to have to work out of this. This could afford Packy a little bit of time here, but a big combo by Influx on that right side of the board really helping him out here, and another big combo as he cleans things up here. That board was looking really messy, but a really, really nice way to clean it up there by Influx. He is down to 14. Packy has narrowed things just a little bit, but it's still a 19-20 virus game in favor of Influx.
Yeah, it's just the way the game goes sometimes, as Influx, really choosing his battles on this one, but finally has everything practically free and clear. Of course, he's cut his board in half, but that's not going to be too bad. I'm just going to be shocked if he uses. I can't see any other way of doing it, but I'm shocked to see him use this much drop time. But he is going to get a cross clear out of it. And yeah, now just has a stoplight to deal with. It's in the air, and look at all this yellow on Packy's side.
Yeah, and no yellow support to speak of, Ook. It's just really, really tough here for Packy to really get anything going when you don't get that color support. Packy tends to play a more balanced game, but sometimes, you just get a little bit more of one color than the other, and that's kind of what's happening here in this end game. Horizontal here is huge for Packy if he can get some double yellows, but uh, we're already sub 7.5 minutes, and Influx already into 17 and already just taking stuff down just really quickly, really efficiently here, just chipping away at that right side so he could finally drop that blue garbage down. And he's going to have a little bit of blue garbage, but he's got a good setup for a horizontal. A lot of options there on that top line.
Yeah, and this is just painful watching for Pack because this is in no way indicative of anything from him. This is just the game being the game. We know it, we love it, we hate it, and this is what it does to us sometimes. Is Pack is going to get out of this one, but it is at an 808 and Influx down to 40 viruses, so already halfway through this level. So it does look like Influx in a really good position to take this game number two. However, as we always say, it's not over till, I don't know, the last virus is cleared. We don't really have a saying. I'm just making it up.
It's not over till it's cured. Uh, we've got 64 to 26 here. Packy with a good horizontal drop is really holding out for a blue there. Now playing a little bit more of a stronger vertical game. He's going to get a horizontal here and looking for a little bit of red help would be great. He can get a lot of options on that right side of the board, but Influx is tearing through this board. Setting himself up here. You get a big cluster kind of style clear. I think he's maybe holding out for a double yellow. That would be the play he'd like, but he's going to chip away on that right side until he gets what he needs here. And now is starting to set up his big combo on that center portion of the board here. Looking for exactly this. And look at this big combo by Influx. Going to get a bunch off the board. It is a 40 virus lead now for Influx as Packy just has not really been able to get anything going on that right side, and he's got to be careful because you can't get too bold over at that on that side at that elevation when the speed continues to climb.
Yeah, the speed goes up every 10 virus or every 10 pills here. And you get to a point where it requires, as we see Influx out at a 945. Wow.
Good
It gets to the
lord.
point where it requires some of those Tetris methodologies to be able to get the pills over. We saw that from Blue Scooty in one of the versus matches where he was rolling his way over to get that far over, but it's just not something we see generally, even among our top players here.
And just as a note, one of our chatters asked, who I think is newer around here, if what does a top out mean they lose automatically? No, it does mean they have to restart the level, and all their progress is forfeited. So they if they've cleared out half the board and top out, now they have to clear out a board and a half essentially. So it's very important not to get a top out, but also on those wings on high speed with the speed increasing every 9 to 10 pills that enter the bottle, you've got to be careful because you could lock yourself out and cut yourself off.
And for anybody saying the commentators cursed him, hey, Packy, wave if you're listening. He's not listening.
He just
Okay, that
waved.
wasn't a wave.
Oh
That
no.
was not a
Oh no.
wave.
What have you done, Ook? All right. We're getting set up here. We've got readies for both of our players. Packy taking his first game loss of this tournament. It is 1-1 here, so we're now back down to a best of three. We've got 3, 2, 1, and pills. Off we go here, and good boards for both. A lot less on that top line for Packy here, and it looks like there's less on the bottom couple of rows here for Influx. So end games will be interesting. I think more for Influx than they will be for Packy, but Packy's getting some combinations that are not helping him early on.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. He's gonna find his way through, as I like to say. But Influx still trapped a little bit at the top of his board over on that left hand side. We'll see when he's gonna get a red yellow. There it is. That's pretty much the only thing that was going to get that floating pair knocked out before the end game, as he's going to get a good combo here and keep it within one. Now takes the lead by about two.
Yeah, both these players basically just trading leads early on here. It's a good play for both these. Packy getting that under clear blue in column 6, setting up for another double clear, and he's going to lay down that yellow red flat so he can get another double clear off the board. Not a lot of access to yellow, so Packy building a little bit of a garbage bridge there, and then dropping that yellow into that wing column. You got to be very careful about garbage on those wing columns, especially in the low elevation situation. But it is still a slight lead here for Packy, as Packy is pretty much exclusively blue on that top line, which is making that end game very rough for him.
And Influx just takes that lead and destroys it with a massive combo there. That one took him some time to set up, but everything happened. It all came through, and there comes another combo for him. He is just living for those, but this is going to be a little slower because he's got to figure he's either going to have to take these reds out horizontally and or something. I mean, he's needing a red yellow and then any red on the left hand side. So now a red yellow is what Influx is going to need. He's going to have to hold out for it unless he's willing to dump the red piece off of the top of this yellow in the bottom, and that is giving Packy a chance to come back here. As there's the combo for Influx. He's out at a 224, and Pack down to just 2 viruses, and not going to be too far behind.
Yeah, and he was going to think about drilling down, but he saw his next pill, took the clear out at 236. So these players still very, very close going into 15. Packy is starting to work here, going to get that yellow in column 8, and he's going to get himself, not going to go for the short stack. Going to instead clear things with one extra pill. Not too terrible of a play there. It's 56-58 here, still an early lead for Influx as Packy continues to take down just single pills here, and he's got himself a double opportunity. He just needs a blue in column number 2, and this double blue not optimal for him, but he could still do something with it. I like that play. Still a little bit of overhanging garbage. Meanwhile, on Influx's side, Influx continuing to burn down the center of the board here. Now he's starting to address that straggler red over in column number 2. It is 43-47 here, right around at the 3.5 minute mark.
Yeah, Influx doesn't have too much access to yellow, which is why all the garbage that you were seeing over on his board was yellow. Now it seems like blue is the garbage color du jour, although most of that did end up getting used in this combo. Influx keeping a fairly level flat top line, but is comboing and doing horizontals for a lot of his pills, or a lot of his viruses rather, and that can be slower. Sometimes it's faster. It really just depends on what you're getting. And we trust Influx has got the situational awareness to figure out when is the best time for each of these things. But Packy continuing to keep it close as it is within 7, with Influx now into the end game of his board.
And Packy's got a lot of doubles in this end game, so he can this margin of 10 isn't as big as it looks. He can get some efficient clears off the board and just continue to rollick, and that's exactly what he's doing here. He's got a good combo setup, looking for a red here in column number 5, and he's finally going to get it. But looks like he's going to go horizontal and not drop everything down. Instead, he is going to drill down. He's down to his final 11 here, but Influx again just playing a really stellar end game here. He's going to be out at a 451.
Yeah, it was a great end game for Influx. As you said, with Pack now, showing off again that multiple ways of clearing everything, as he is going to, looks like, go ahead and, it's hard to say bridge up this horizontal on the right hand side, but that is going to put him out at a 514. So definitely behind, but Influx with limited access to red and a ton of yellow on this top line. That is not the board he wanted to see to start this 16.
Yeah, and I saw Packy just get a little frustrated there at the end of that 15. I think he's not playing well or as well as he'd like, but I mean he's still holding course here with Influx here. It is a 6 virus game, and he can definitely get back in this here. He's got limited access to yellow now. He's really needing some red blue help. If I think I'm probably going to be drilling down. That's exactly what he's doing over in column 7 here. It's just really with the limited access to yellow here, it does make this a bit of a challenge, but he's making things work and starting to open up the board, getting more access to yellow. He's stacked a little bit of yellow, and he's just continuing to using yellow as more of a transitional play rather than focusing on yellow viruses.
Yeah, and he's going to take this long drop time, but it's kind of the only thing you could do with the pills that he was given. Meanwhile, Influx, now with a baker's dozen lead and good setups, he just doesn't have a lot of access to red now. Is building himself some, but we're seeing that blue being an issue, and even his garbage is blue right now. So What Influx needs is as much blue as the dock can give him, and we will see if that is going to be a thing for him.
And Packy has just had a couple of just slow starts to these rounds here, but he really is turning it up in that mid and end game, trying to keep things close here. He's back down to being down by 3 viruses here as he's starting to get. I don't know what he was doing with that double blue, stacking it where it was, but it looks like maybe another misplay. No, okay, I see what he's doing. He's drilling things down. This is a big combo from Packy. He's going to keep himself in with that. I thought that was a series of misdrops, and that's why we say don't always assume everything's a misdrop till you see it executed, and that's a perfect example of that. As Packy still holding on, or rather, Influx still holding on to a lead here, out at a 726. He'll be into 17 first.
I'll let you in on a secret. That first one was a misdrop, and then Pack just made the best he could out of it.
Ah,
That's what it
okay.
ended up being. I saw the first one happen. I was like, no, that's not what he meant. But yeah, he's good at just finding the best way to use whatever he's got. But this, this buried columns 7 and 8 are going to be a slowdown for him. You can see him just kind of getting them as low as he can so that he's taking his little drop time. But he knows, yeah, that
That
frustration
slouch
is
back
very
is
real.
telling. That slouch back very telling because it's just not getting any red. I've definitely been there. I've had a qualifier where I needed yellow and I didn't get yellow for about 45 pills. So I definitely feel that frustration here as Influx is definitely pulled away here. It's almost a half a level game here. But if Packy can get a strong start of the game here on level 17, he could still try to keep this competitive. But it does feel like Influx is going to take this game number 3, but and is Influx getting a really nice, just tight combo in space there. 31 to 59 here as we're a little over 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, and again, Pack not getting what he wants to see on this board is going to get things worked out of the way, but he had a lot of red on his top line, and he's just now seeing the backside of it. And again, like you said, it's 30 virus difference. That's going to be very difficult to overcome, especially with Influx playing as well as he's playing right now. Expect to see this one finish up for him very shortly as he is into his end game and has a good horizontal setup there on the left hand side. I won't be surprised to see a couple of reds show up as well as he is getting that first horizontal and just looking for the next one.
Yeah, and Packy is playing a really, really good 17 here. I mean, there's really nothing to be critical about here, but Influx just absolutely torching it out at a 934. He will take game number 3 and will be set up for championship point here in just a few moments.
Yeah, that is two sub tens for Influx. And looking at his best times on this block, 14 to 17 is what we're looking for. He has actually broke 836. Has yet to get below the 8.5 minute mark. Only Adelito has done that, and only once this year. So, yeah, sub
Influx
9 will
is
still get you on the hot times list.
Influx downing nearly the last of that sweet tea, that half gallon of sweet tea he's got. Packy hydrating. Yeah, this is both these players just going to take a minute here. I think this is especially helpful for Packy. I know Packy is just getting really frustrated, so just taking a couple minutes to breathe, smile. There's a good grin on him. He's loving his game playing today. I mean, obviously frustrated with the result, but I mean, getting to these finals huge for him, especially as far as those standings go. You take a look at the standings here. Packy is currently sitting fourth, and this finals appearance likely going to vault him into that top 3. Influx with a win here as well. I mean, they're both looking to basically take Don Venier down to fourth. So a lot to play for here. You want yourself a good standing going into that end of your tournament.
And they have indeed actually done that as Don sitting at 92 points, and Packy already up to 93. But, there's always a few extra points to be had. And we're
And
just okay. Yeah, that is incorrect, I believe.
yeah, those standings will be updated once the tournament ends here with the correct totals. So don't sweat what you see on the monthly site right now. But and you're going to see these players have a lot to play for, not just to win that tournament in October. Uh, Establishing that final standing, you want a good seeding because those 5 to 12 seeds are going to be really really tough. Everybody pretty evenly matched as far as things go there, so you really want to settle yourself into that top four spot. But we are waiting on a ready, and Influx just had to kiss the baby goodnight.
Some of us are just happy to be in the running for the year-end tournaments. Those will be coming up here in December, unless we've moved it. I haven't looked at the calendar, but you know where you can look is on our Discord. As we get our 3, 2, 1 pills, I'll go ahead and drop that Discord link in the chat. Never mind, the DrMC bot already has it. Thank you, Dave. We've got all of the information, all of our upcoming tournaments show up there, including this one where Influx is looking at a whole row with no red to it.
Yeah, but he's still making some really good clears here and utilizing that red garbage. It is a slight lead early for Packy. Packy having no red access on his board, so these players just really trying to just burn things down, trying to get access to that red and other combinations that they might have use for. As you see, Packy just having to do a complete garbage clear on that right side. I mean, it's good for opening up the board, but if you're not getting any viruses off the board, it is a little bit of a rough situation here. Influx has pulled away here with a bit of a lead, but Packy continuing to burn things down now with all the red access he could ever need. Uh, as Influx is playing a pretty balanced board here, the remainder of his red's a little bit buried. He'll have to make some plays to get down to them, but still a pretty good play for both these players, really.
Yeah, Pat got through that barge of yellow at the top, and now it is a barge of red in the middle board. But he is now practically through that. And look at this massive log. That one, that was that's more than a fat log right there. That is exactly what he wanted to try to stay in this. Influx, though, is getting ready to combo this one out. He's got ideas. He's got a lot of ideas. The question is, will they show? And there's the first blue that he needs. One more blue is going to put him out at a 149. That is a smoking hot time here in level number 14.
Yeah,
That's a good time for a lot of levels, and
yeah.
14 is not usually one of them.
You're looking for right around that 2 minute mark. So a sub 2 on any of these levels is brilliant as a good opening combo there by Influx. He's setting himself up. He's going to get a nice horizontal here as well. And Influx really just doing a great job of sniffing out those combos. And Packy's going to get a nice combo out as well, out at a 221. But Influx already pulling away. He's about what, a quarter of a stage ahead already. So
Yeah, but not sure. Just not sure about this combo for Influx. Okay. Now I'm more sure about it than I was, but still, it's one of those you look at and you go, is it? And it was the same thing with Packy's endgame though, so I've given up on any knowledge of what our players are up to.
But 28 to 47 here. Packy is really just trying to drill through that left side of the board here, and really looking for some plays here to get things going here. Limited access to yellow again for Packy, and that's just kind of been the story of this match for Packy. He just hasn't really been able to find that board balance, whether it's due to RNG or just decision making, but just is having a really tough time keeping that color balance, which Influx hasn't. He's been keeping a good balanced board as far as everything has been going. He's making really just good combo plays here, not trying to get too elaborate, too fancy. I think he paid for that in game one. I think he's being a little bit more conservative with that big combo play in these later games. But we're still seeing really good play from Influx. I mean, he's just playing really good speed Dr. Mario. What I like to call boring Dr. Mario. It's nothing too elaborate, just getting what you need to get done. And that's what we're seeing here as Influx is going to have to sacrifice the horizontal and have to rebuild it. But he is out at a 356. So again, averaging sub 2 through this.
Yeah, and that's like you said, that's exactly where he wants to be. Packy really behind here. He knows it. He knows this has been a difficult level block, but I do like the combo setup options that he's got. He's going to get this one, going to get something figured out with these last viruses. This double yellow going to be great for him, as now all he needs is 5 blues. There's 2 of them right there. 3, 4,
And
and 5. He's going to be out at a 438.
he is still quite behind here as Influx has just been tearing through these early boards here. Packy really just needed to continue to balance the colors here, and just try to make simple plays here, not try to go for over elaborate combos. Just keep that balance nice and easy for him here. Influx down to 28. Packy looking to set up for a drop here. He's going to have a good setup for those remaining pills up at that top row, but really just not getting anything that he can set up as a combo, which really is hampering what he wants to do here. Packy is a, he has that great combination of speed and combo that we're kind of seeing Influx put on display here, and a big, as I say that, a big combo for Packy, putting him down to 42. But again, it's end game situation already here for Influx here at the 5.5 minute mark.
Yeah, and we're probably seeing in a lot of ways the results of all the practice that our players are getting for the Columbus finals, as that is all versus, and we know a lot of players have been getting their reps in, doing some versus play however they can, and Influx out at 553, maintaining that sub 6 or sub 2 minutes. And yeah, this combo play definitely looks like it's indicative of a lot of practice on the parts of some of our top players. So it's gonna make Columbus real fun this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Columbus here. Uh, uh, it's always a fun time. Influx, 61 viruses to go here on 17. He's just now he's a 5 dozen away from securing a victory here in this September tournament. Packy, meanwhile, just trying to continue to dig here. He is just buried. He's not getting any sort of yellow access here, but he's starting to get. That was a really good double blue for him here, and he's going to get a couple more reds and yellows, and he will be ready to go. And he's going to drill this down and set him up. No, he's not going to go for the drill down. I thought he would, maybe to set that up for an easier clear, but he is just going to go hard way vertically, and he is out at a 7 minute flat. But again, he's got a big, big deficit ahead of him.
Yeah, that he definitely does. But we have seen. We call it. I mean, we literally named it after Packy. It's this beast mode that he's got. Um, Usually, it happens right after he loses a game. Uh, we'll see if it comes in this last level, as he knows this is the last one, and he is not playing at the level that he expects of himself. Uh, it's not that we're putting anything on him. He's a competitor, and he
Oh
puts
yeah.
it on himself. Now, Influx doing the exact same thing. Shout out to the exact same, and is trying to keep his best level of play. He's thinking about, what's his PB? What's he going to be able to do? So both players have a lot that they're trying to get done here. Uh, but right now it is Influx who is looking like it's going to be his game, as he is down to just a baker's dozen
And
and has a fat log set up.
Packy making a misplay in column one there, which is really, really tough for him. But that's what you got to do if you know that you're down. You've got to just turn on the aggression. Sometimes that turns into a misplay. I know that. That's the style I play as well, is just, knowing I'm behind the 8 ball or I'm maybe down 0-1. I play, tend to be a little bit more aggressive. I don't want to be down 0-2 or, out. So, excuse me. But Influx here, just a few away, as he's just looking for just a handful of blues. Good call there to clear out the garbage. Now he's free and clear, and Influx out at an 850, and he takes the September championship, and a big, big win for Influx here.